Hey everyone, it's Fitz with your post-game power talk. Kansas State loses this game 43-20 to Texas Tech, number 13 Texas Tech. It's a really good football team, much better than Kansas State. And the truth is, we didn't know if Texas Tech's use of NIL would be as effective as it has been. They certainly had the talent, but I think any K-Stater based on basketball can tell you sometimes NIL doesn't work out the way you think it will. It's working out for Tech. Congratulations to them. That they had the money, they spent it wisely, and that's a really good football team. I have said this since the start of the season. Tech has the potential to be as good as any Oklahoma Texas team has been in this conference, and I think they are. I think they're clearly the best team. They just lost a road game at a really tough place to play with the backup quarterback, and still almost won. If they have a weakness, it is the offense, but the defense is not that weakness. I know a lot of you are frustrated by the K-State offensive performance, but let's add some context here. That's the second most yards the Tech defense has given up this season. That's the most rushing yards Tech has given up this season in a game. They have held opponents on average to about 260 yards a game. They're absolutely dominant on that side of the ball. Two NFL guys, maybe the best two defenders in the conference, are on Texas Tech. And as we found out, Jacob Rodriguez isn't just good at punching the ball out, it's otherworldly. It's unbelievable how good he is. It's something you can't replicate in practice. It's like trying to replicate Michael Bishop. Sure, teams tried to, but you can't come up with someone to do that. This season is a salvage job at this point, and it has been. And it has been since the 1-3 start. But you can't undo it. You got to deal with what you got. I don't know why this team was so bad at the start. I can't explain it. They were soft. They weren't focused. They weren't playing very hard. They didn't seem very invested in the success of the season. This team is. Earlier in the year, if this team had 3 turnovers against Texas Tech, they would have lost by 60. But here we were in the fourth quarter, despite all the crap, all the punched balls out and all the just missed opportunities, and K-State's down by 9. I thought K-State would lose by 10 points and play well to lose by 10 points. So I didn't think K-State played particularly well. And the score kind of reflects that as it got away. Just the same thing that happened at Utah. It was a close game, and then it got away. But Tech's really amazing. That defense is hard to deal with. And I'm looking forward to next week with College Game Day, going to Lubbock for Tech and BYU. It's a huge game. It's a big stage for the Big 12. Now, I know a lot of you are upset about the season. This was not a surprise. If you're upset about this, you haven't been paying attention. I think if K-State had come in and played as well as we expected them to play this season from the very start, maybe K-State wins, but Tech probably still wins. I don't know. I would love to have seen it, but we're not going to. Now K-State has an opportunity to get a big win at Utah later, but got 2 manageable games at Oklahoma State and then Colorado coming in. They're going to get to a bowl. They're going to keep that practice chain going where you get the extra practices. You go into the off season. It tumbles right into your off season conditioning. So if they can get it done. I understand the disappointment level. I really do. But this is going to be the new world, folks. It's not that K-State is going to be mediocre. Texas Tech and BYU, as of now, even though Cincinnati's hanging around, we'll see what they do tonight at Utah, are the 2 best programs. And they're the 2 best funded programs in the conference. I mean, BYU doesn't necessarily use NIL to get players, but you better believe the players on that roster get it because they've got a lot of money. And Texas Tech, as you know, has had donors line up and give them enough money to do what they did. It's really good for the Big 12. It is. If Tech makes a run, if Tech gets to the Final Four, Tech plays for the championship, any of that, because it changes the mathematics of college football. They want you to believe that nobody from the Big 12 or SEC can compete or excuse me, Big 12 or ACC can compete with the SEC or Big 10, and that's not necessarily true. The sad reality is you can go buy a team and be pretty good if you got the money. That's going to be the challenge for K-State because this isn't a big money school. Never has been, never will. They're very generous donors. The ones that can are stepping up, but they don't have a Cody Campbell, a billionaire, self-made billionaire that could just chuck money in as a former player. So that is a big advantage for Texas Tech. This is hard to swallow. It's hard to see the imbalance right now. But I'm telling you, I don't think this season is kind of a overall symptom of Kansas State football. They just haven't performed the way we thought they would, and they were pretty good at times today, but not ever. I don't think they ever performed at a level where they were good enough to win. As soon as they fell behind at halftime, I thought, well, that was kind of an opportunity. And then you get the ball back, maybe you go score and take the lead, and they just couldn't get over the hump. Why? The other team was better. Sometimes the other team is just better. Sometimes you lose when you're the better team. The other team just performs better. Yeah, I can't explain how K-State started the season. I've tried. But this team now is pretty good. They've been competitive. They weren't competitive over the course of 4 quarters in this one. And I'm going to hand that to Tech. It was not a good day for Kansas State, but the fact that so many of you are screaming that Matt Wells is awful when he just actually did a good job, I know it doesn't feel that way. I know it doesn't, because you're not grasping what a disadvantage K-State was up front. I'm impressed the K-State offensive line held up for as long as it did, because the line's been struggling. The line struggled with Army in North Dakota, and now they're going up against NFL players, and they did okay. They really did. But Tech just kind of wears you down. They batter you. They hang around for the full fight, and then late when you're kind of run down a little bit, they throw the uppercut, they throw the jab, and you're in trouble. And that's what happened. The fight almost went the distance and got stopped because, boy, Tech started throwing those haymakers. Impressive win by Texas Tech. Disappointing that Kansas State missed out on an opportunity to maybe get into the Big 12 race, all the way. This would have done it. But they had to have a lot of things go right. I thought if they play really well, they might lose by 10. That was my prediction. They didn't play well, and they lost by more than that. But again, as hard as it was to run the ball, just wrap your mind around, that's the best anyone's run the ball against Texas Tech all season. And that should kind of put things into focus about the magnitude of the challenge that was facing K-State. And don't say you didn't know, because if you didn't know, you haven't been listening.